If you've been feeling a little down this winter, if this has been a very long winter for you, if it's been dark, transformative, and an inward journey, congratulations, this is what winter is about. But today we're here to celebrate spring and all its renewing energies. Welcome into this cacao ritual to celebrate spring. I am going to guide you through the whole process. If you are new to cacao, feel free to go into the description box and I will also link the video up here. You will have a video that explains to you everything about where to find ceremonial cacao, how to prepare it, how to set up your space, how to prepare yourself for the ritual. Feel free to watch this video first and then you can come back to this one. Today I'm going to talk to you about the energy of spring according to Ayurveda. We're going to talk about the equinox. We're also going to do a beautiful flower exercise. I'm so excited for this one. You'll see it's a very transformative one. We are of course going to honor cacao, which is our main guide today. So what you'll need for this ritual, you'll need your cacao in, for me, a beautiful spring cherry blossom cup, but you can choose the cup that really inspires you about spring. And then you will need, of course, flowers, ideally. If you have some in your yard or you can grab some along the street, that is perfect. If you have some, it's great to have it for this ritual for the flower exercise, but if you don't, you can still do the ritual. I will adapt it for you. I'm going to describe you what I have and then you can choose what you want to add to your space. I have a candle because I love working with the fire energy and it's a beautiful season for this because the sun is shining brighter and the days are getting longer. I also like to have some Palo Santo, but it can be incense or any local smudging sticks that you would have. Palo Santo is unfortunately not very local to me, but that's what I had with me. So I'm using this. I also have a beautiful petrified wood piece. In Chinese medicine, wood represents the spring season, and I was very inspired to have it on my altar, so I added to it. I also have Ganesha, which is a deity that I really resonate with. I have a little bit of honey next to him because he likes sweets. But this is very personal, so you can, of course, anything that relates for you will be nice to have on your altar. If you have other deities that you resonate with or no deity and you want to make it very simple, you only need your cacao and yourself. What I recommend as well is having a journal. If you want to use the journal prompts that I'm going to offer you for free, in the description of this video you will see a free guide with a few suggestions to go deeper during your ritual. I also recommend having water with you to hydrate because cacao can be a little dry, and if you're breastfeeding, if you're a mom, and if you are simply a woman in general, we tend to forget to drink. So yeah, men too, but just you particularly need it as a woman, so I'm gonna emphasize water. You can also use a deck of cards if you want to pull a card at the end of this session. You will have in the free guide that I just described a few prompts to how to use a deck, what question to ask, especially for the spring energy, for the spring equinox. And that's it, you have everything ready. So a little bit about cacao before we start. Cacao is this plant that is said to be a very feminine energy. I added to mine a little bit of macambo, which is a sister plant from cacao. It's the same family, but it's a different one. It's white when cacao is dark black or brown. Macombo is white and it's very much creamy, and it's more of the masculine energy, which is interesting because the dark in the yin and yang is the feminine and the white is the masculine. And why do I have this in my cacao? Because the spring equinox, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but the spring equinox is going to invite us to balance both of those inside of us. But to stay with cacao for now, it is a feminine energy, that's what we say. This tradition of drinking cacao this way has been a very ancient one, and I make a point to honor this very old tradition, even though there are so many different traditions where they drink cacao, because cacao grows in very many different countries and they all had their own relationship with cacao. But it used to be taken usually in circles, it used to be taken during meetings. They would use this substance, this plant, to help us feel all connected to each other, more open, more friendly with each other. Cacao is a heart opener, and it's a literal heart opener because it vasodilates your blood vessels, which usually is really supportive for women. It helps increase courage. And courage is a word that comes from French, actually, cœur. Cœur means heart. And rage, you know what this word is. So it's like the rage of the heart. It's this, the heart is driving us, and that's what courage is. The mind could be like, no, let's not do this. We're afraid of this. This is dangerous. But the courage is like, I know there's danger, but I'm still going to do it. Not to destroy myself, but just because it is worth it for me to do that action. And I think cacao, I feel that's been my experience, that cacao helps increase that in myself, and it's been used by some old traditions in that for that purpose as well. It's a mood enhancer, so cacao helps us feel happy, feel more relaxed, have a wider perspective on life from my experience. And when you drink it, you tend to create a bunch of happiness and love hormones in your body, which, let's be honest, feels really good. So I'm gonna invite you to take your cacao in your hands. Maybe you're outside, maybe you're inside, maybe you can hear the birds, smell flowers. And you're gonna smell your cacao. Maybe you added some spices, flowers, honey in your cacao. And I'm going to invite you to imagine the energy of spring. Spring as a visual, something you can feel, something you can taste, something you can smell. So what does spring look like for you? What does spring sounds like for you? What does spring taste like for you? And you're going to bring all the sensation in your heart. Like a bubble of spring inside of you. And this bubble is gonna branch out like if you had rivers going down your arms. And the energy of spring is gonna infuse your cacao through your arms, your hands. We are going to take a first sip together, and I will invite you to keep it in your mouth for a few seconds. And I invite you to feel the texture, the flavors, maybe the sweetness of your cacao, the bitterness. We are going to take a second sip for the land where your cacao comes from. So remember, if you chose your cacao yourself, you should know where it comes from, and if you don't, just imagine a warm and humid place where trees grow high, and cacao trees grow under those very tall trees. They're protected from too much sun this way. Their cacao pods grow on the trunk and branches. The soil is rich. And we're going to take a second sip for the land cacao grows on. Our next sip is going to be for the farmers who grow cacao and the keeper of tradition who allow us to gather in circle today with cacao. You can take a third sip. And finally, your fourth sip is going to be for spring, for the earth, for the sun, for the moon, all those who create seasons. Let's drink for spring. So you can keep drinking your cacao at your own pace during this ritual. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about spring, the equinox, what this energy time is about according to Ayurveda specifically. Before Ayurveda, we're going to talk about the astrology part, and not very in depth. If you don't know anything about astrology, don't worry. I'm just going to mention that spring astrologically is the beginning of the year. It's when the sun enters the sign of Aries again. So it's the first quote-unquote sign of the zodiac. And it's not for no reason that it's the first. It's because it's the energy of birth. It's the breaking through, going to a very directed way. It's this force that we need to start anything. This passion that we need to start any project. So that's not for nothing that this sign is the first of the zodiac, and spring represents that energy. It also represents the other two signs of spring, which are Taurus and Gemini. But Aries is really the initiator, the one that allows us to get moving after a very stagnant and introspective winter time. And the equinox is the moment of the year. Spring equinox is the moment of the year when the night and the daytime, nighttime and daytime, are equivalent or the same in terms of length. So the night is as long as the day. The second equinox is during the fall, so we have the same happening in the fall. But the spring one is moving from darkness to light, moving from the inner world to the outer world. And the equinox in general invite us to find both polarities in us. I don't really want to say the word balance, because what is balance? People have a very static, fixed view of balance, and that's not what I think is healthy. In the world and in your body in general, balance is not this. It's a dance. It's like, oh, we're going to do this, and now we're going to do this. And it's the dance that makes it balanced. And if you practice balance in any way on a wire or dancing, you know that balance is actually very dynamic. And that's what I'm going to invite you to imagine, that we can be balanced by moving, by feeling, because we tend to want to stop moving and stop feeling to feel balanced. If I'm balanced, I'm not angry. If I'm balanced, I'm not sad. Well, that's not the point. Being balanced is dancing with all those polarities. And it's interesting to consider that we can be one thing and a very opposite thing at the same time. If we consider they're opposite, that's actually from just our perspective. And I would like to talk to you about Durga. Durga is a goddess in the Vedic tradition, in the Hindu also tradition, who represents the divine mother, but she also represents the warrior goddess. She is a warrior goddess. And I love this goddess because she represents this contrast that exists in all of us. I'm gonna mother my child, I'm gonna be so nurturing, I'm gonna be so present, but also I'm gonna defend my boundaries, their boundaries, because I'm their goddess, I'm their warrior goddess. And I'm also gonna use my emotions to serve my dharma. So Durga rides a lion, which means that she harnessed the energy of her emotions and everything, her desires, her passion, to be used in her life path, in her mission. She doesn't say, the lion, you stay in your cage, you're not useful to me, you're kind of messy, you're dangerous, I don't want you. She uses this lion, and that's the beauty of this goddess, in my opinion. So I just wanted to talk to you about Durga to invite you to also embrace this contrast inside of yourself. You can be very gentle, very nurturing, and also very affirmed and determined and passionate about what you're doing. And some days you can be angry and you can want to destroy everything like Durga does sometimes. And that's totally fine, as long as it's serving your path and as long as you are gaining awareness about yourself through doing this. So spring is a time of transition. It can be a time of easily getting sick or getting tired, because any transition, according to Ayurveda, especially seasonal transitions, is like moving from one platform to another. So you imagine that during this transition, you're gonna be somewhere in the middle, and if the platforms move, it's a little intimidating to move from one season to another. So it's a vulnerable time for us. And if you observe in yourself, maybe you feel tired, maybe your skin is dry, maybe you have a cold, or maybe you feel heavy. These things can happen if we don't take the time to cleanse and to relax, to slow down at the end of winter. So if you want more tips and recommendations for this, you will definitely find videos on my channel to guide you here. But during spring, Ayurveda would say that it's a time to detox, it's a time to cleanse, because Kapha, this energy of heaviness, of earth, of water, is pretty high. And that's when we need to clarify to make room for summer. Otherwise, we risk being more imbalanced during summer as well. So you can do mild detox or harder detox if you feel like it. Can be a good time to get back to moving your body a little more, being outside a little more, cleansing your body in a very deep way. It can be through sauna, it could be through cold, it could be through cleaning your senses, like Ayurveda recommends. And so Ayurveda is going to recommend to eat a little lighter than during winter, because winter is cold usually, depending where you live, of course, but we need more sustenance, more dense food. Spring usually invites us to lighten everything, so eating more herbs, eating a little less animal products. You still need some, but you will need less during this time usually. Less sweets, less dairy, or you're going to choose wisely. So you're going to keep maybe clarified butter, ghee, which is enhancing your digestion, and it's very lubricating and still nourishing, especially if you're breastfeeding or a new mom postpartum. That's really important. Don't get rid of every animal products if you're not used to that. But spring invites us to use more light food. You can also increase your consumption of turmeric, of fennel, of parsley. Those are spices and herbs that are recommended by Ayurveda during this time of the year. So next we're going to do what I call a flower exercise. And if you have flowers around you, that is perfect. You're going to pick the flower that really attracts you, the flower that it feels a little, I like to say edgy, like the flower that is like, I like it, but it's a little. Or you can choose a flower that really feels like spring to you, like opening, like abundant. And you're gonna take this flower with you. I'm gonna do it too with you. If you don't have flowers, I am going to invite you to look at your screen right now, and I'm gonna show you a bunch of flowers pictures, and you're gonna pick one. And this will be the flower you're gonna be working with. So once you have your flower, you are going to look at it. You are going to smell it. You are going to feel it. So imagine that your flower is a person. It's a being that has their own energy field, that has their own character, their own personality. And you're going to connect to that personality of your flower. You can touch it. And I'm going to invite you to let words come to your mind without trying to hunt for them. What color is your flower? What does it inspire you? What is this color for you? So you can write it down or just think about this color and just do it in your own mind. How does this color makes you feel? Is it exciting? Is it calming? Is it stimulating? Nurturing? Soothing? How does this flower make you feel through its color, through the shape of the flower itself, of its petal, how it's arranged? Maybe you feel things in your body, and that is great. It means you're very connected to your body. So where in your body you feel this? How? Where? What is it? You are going to give a few words describing your flower. So for example, it might be a little tricky to understand. So I'm going to give you an example with my flower. So my flower is this very light pink. It has all these petals. I love how harmonious it looks as a whole, but it's so messy when you look inside and you look all those little petals that are intertwined with each other. So I love that the chaos, the appearing chaos of these petals actually create this beauty. It's very soothing for me, very nourishing, this color. It feels like it's dancing. That's how the image that came to my mind. It's soft, but it's also super powerful. I've had this flower for days, and it's still beautiful. I can kind of see what's inside, but it's hidden, and I like that it has this little secret garden inside of it. So what you're going to do once you have all this description of how you felt and what you thought about watching this flower, it's going to be a very beautiful indication of what you would like to embody this spring and maybe even later. So maybe you want to embody more of the passion of your flower. Maybe you chose a very delicate flower, a very vulnerable flower. Maybe you chose a very big flower or a very small one. So how can you embody the flower that you chose this spring? I'll invite you to pause this video if you want to take your time to write things down, to really feel it. But this exercise is really nice during this time of the year, but you can do it anytime, and you can actually choose flowers for your altar, for your house this way. So you're gonna let the flower pick you, kind of. I really like to do that. So once you are done with your flower, you can keep it in front of you, or you can place it back on your altar or in the vase. I'm gonna place it on my altar. And I would like to invite you as well during spring to have a practice of planting seeds. So literally you can plant a garden, you can plant flowers, you can plant vegetables, but it can be just in a little container, and You are going to take some very deep, rich soil. If you don't know where to find it, you can buy it, of course. And you're going to choose some seeds, whatever you prefer. It can be flowers, it can be herbs, medicinal herbs. And you're going to place them on the soil that you picked, cover it lightly, let it very loose because your seeds might need some space to expand. You're going to cover your little cup with some plastic wrap or even just a tub that you're going to pierce to let some air flow, and you're going to place it in a warm environment. Spring is a transition, so we still have the cold mornings, we still have everything that is still in the ground. Maybe you don't have flowers in your yard yet, maybe you don't see spring rose already, but it's still here somewhere. The potential for spring is still here. So don't forget that when you plant seed, you don't see anything for a few weeks sometimes, and it can be frustrating, and you can think that nothing is happening, and it's the same in your project or in your life, but you planted the seeds. So you can do it literally, or you can do it figuratively with the project or with your kids. If you want to do this with them, it would be a beautiful activity. And you can use your intention for your life in general and plant them as well. Something that I love to do is use some of those seeded paper, and I will link some in the description of this video. And you can write your intention for spring, for the year, for on your birthday, for example. You can write those intentions or prayers on this paper and plant it literally, and flowers or herbs or anything is going to grow from that, which I think is beautiful. Now I'm gonna sing a beautiful chant, a beautiful text. It's actually an old text dedicated to Durga. So it's the story of how Durga conquered the demons and brought back light on the world. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful text. If you feel drawn or called to study it, it's really deep. And I would like myself to go deeper with that text. But it's how Durga conquers so many demons that represent our limitations, our beliefs about ourselves, about the world, to bring light. And this text explains how many forms of the divine feminine, of the goddess, exist. So the form of peace, in the form of anger, in the form of action, in the form of beauty, in the form of faith. And I'm not gonna sing the whole chant today because it's pretty long, but I'm just gonna give you a little sample of it, and I'll link the video where it comes from. It's this beautiful artist who's called Gaia Sanskrit who created this song from this old text, and I truly love her work, so I will link her video down in the description if you want to listen to the whole song. So you can close your eyes if you want. You can keep your cacao in your hands, take a sip. And if the Hindu goddess and gods don't speak to you, I'll invite you to just visualize what it is for you, the divine feminine, especially as a mother, if you are one, or if you need one right now. What does she look like to you? Maybe it's Mother Earth, maybe it's a woman, maybe it's just an angel. Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivaya Satatam Namaha Namah Prakrityai Bhadrayai Nyatas Pranatas Matam Raudrayai Namo Nityayai Gauryai Dhatriyai Namo Namaha Jyotsnayai Chendurupinyai Sukhayai Satatam Namaha Kalyanyai Pranat kurmo namo namaha Nairithyai bhubritam lakshmyai Sharvarnyai te namo namaha Durgayai Durgaparayai Sarayai Sarvakarinyai Kyatyai Tathaiva Krishnayai Dhumrayai Satatam Namaha Ati Saumyati Raudrayai Natastasyai Namo Namaha Namo Jagat Pratisthayai Devyai Krityai Namo Namaha. I'm going to invite you to deepen your breath. And after your next inhale, you're going to exhale with a sound, preferably ah, but any sound. Let your body open without sound. Don't be shy. Let the sound open your whole body, your mind, and support Cacao in opening and flowing into you. Still visualizing this bubble of spring inside of your heart, now circulating everywhere in your body like rivers flowing. Thank you for being present and following this ritual with me. I truly love sharing those rituals with you. It's such a blessing to be able to gather despite not being physically together. So I'll invite you to download the free guide that is in the description of this video. You have way more information about how to enhance your ritual. Please share with us your intentions and the flower that you chose in the comments. I'm curious to know which flower is gonna guide you through the next few months. If you like more rituals like this one, feel free to give me suggestions of energy, of topics that you would like me to cover as a ritual. You can do this in the comments section of this video. And I'm gonna send you to this video which talks about the 5 superpowers of moms. So if you're a mom and you want to reconnect to your power and how motherhood enhanced you, I'm sure you will like this video, and it's very much this Durga, powerful mother energy. So feel free to click here next, and I'm sending you a big hug, and I wish you to feel more radiant and nurtured in your daily life. Bye bye.